Hello, good evening. Hi, JT. I'm glad you made it live today. Um, can you tell me if the sound quality is better? Hi, Sudha. Um, thank you for joining. Sudha, you were there yesterday also. It would help if you guys can give me feedback. I've put a microphone on, so if you can tell me if the sound quality is better today, I'd really appreciate that. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. And I hope the hi Manat, good to see you online. Okay, so we're going to jump straight in. I'm so glad that you know your this topic has brought on more curiosity. So just as a reminder, yesterday after finishing the introduction, we started the first chapter in this book, The Untethered Soul. The first chapter in part 1 is The Voice Inside Your Head. Now, we read up a little bit about it, what it does, what kind of things it says and stuff like that. So I'm going to continue from there. It was very interesting that the entire day today I was observing how this voice in my head, what are the kind of things it was saying, and I was actually quite amused at the conversation that I was having in my head, the dual voices. Okay, so you have the live tonight, you should do this, you should do that, and this is what you should say, and you should interact with people. And then the other side, there's another voice parallelly that was saying, come on, don't do all of that, just quietly read the book. And it was, and I was listening to all of this, watching all of this happen inside when I was brushing my teeth in the morning. I said, that's very interesting. So we will start from there, and as I keep reading, please do share in your comments what you have been experiencing and things like that. Okay, so let's start with the very simple thing it says here in the book, and just to make it again very clear, I'm not reading the entire book. I prepare. Wow, amazing how so many people joining. I'm so happy. Thank you very much. Shukriya bahut. There's certain portions I'm reading. Okay, I don't think I should be reading the entire book, but I mark. So I sit an hour before and I mark down what are the key things that I should be reading. So let's start with this. Okay, I'm going to ask you to say hello. Don't say it out loud. You don't have to tell me. Just say it in your head. Say hello. Do you hear a hello back? Say it again. It's either echoing or it's going to say it in a different way. Now just say it out really loud. Hello. Just say it really loud. Can you hear that? Okay. So write to me. Tell me if you can hear that, because I just tried it and it was really amusing for me. So yeah, please do write over here. So I'm going to continue now reading. Suppose you were looking at 3 objects: a flower pot, a photograph, and a book, and were then asked, which of these objects is you? You'd say none of them. I'm the one who's looking at what you're putting in front of me. It doesn't matter what you put in front of me, it's always going to be me looking at it. Yeah, do you understand that? It's an act of a subject perceiving various objects. This is also true of hearing the voice inside, just the way we practiced right now. As long as you think that one thing it's saying is you, but the other thing it's saying is not you, you've lost your objectivity. Okay? So the moment we get attached or get drawn into one of the voices, or even probably both, or as many voices that it keeps coming up, then we lose our objectivity. Then we're getting drawn into that. So remember, you are the observer and you're listening to what those voices are saying. That is where the practice begins. We don't realize, we really don't realize that this voice is talking. We don't pay attention to that because we think it is us. It is our mind. It is not you. It is not me. The one who is listening to it is the one who you are. So this distinction, okay? Realizing that you are not the voice of the mind, you are the one who hears it. Exactly what I was saying just now is what Michael is writing over here. It's very, very important for true growth, that realizing you are not the voice of the mind, you are the one who hears it. Okay, it is your mind, but the mind is talking. If you watch it objectively, you will come to see that much of what the voice says is meaningless. If you're willing to be objective and watch all your thoughts, you will see that the vast majority of them have no relevance. Those thoughts, all those things that the voice is saying, there's really no relevance. They have no effect on anything or anybody except you, right? I mean, let's say we're just sitting somewhere and we're lost in thoughts, and someone who knows us well enough happens to see us sitting there. They might just come and ask, hey, you're looking lost, or you're looking stressed, or you're looking worried, or something like that. It's okay. Or someone might just even come and ask, what are you thinking? That's about all that they'll come and be able to ask you or be there with you. You seem to be really lost in your thoughts, but they won't know. They will not know what is going on in your mind except for you the observer. Okay? So always remember that. Now from this point onwards, if we can really truly practice that, it is going to make a lot of difference. If you're willing to be objective and watch all your thoughts, you will see that the vast majority of them have no relevance. They have no effect on anything or anybody except you. They are simply making you feel better or worse about what is going on now, what has gone on in the past, or what might go on in the future. Right? It's just oscillating all the time between the past, the future, and the past and the future. Think about it, really. When I'm asking you to think about it, again, is there a voice saying, she has a point? So, think about it. Eventually, you will see that the real cause of problems is not life itself. It's the commotion the mind makes about life that really causes the problem. So when we say things like, oh, life's not good. No. Life is just going on. Life is flowing. It's the voice in our head. It's the thought that defines or decides or puts labels. Is it good or not? Is it bad? Or, it's a rough ride. So often I use that. Oh, it's a roller coaster. Okay? I prefer to use that. It's a roller coaster because at one point I used to enjoy roller coasters, the ups and downs. I mean, the actual roller coaster. I'm not talking about the ups and downs in life. The actual roller coaster in you know, Disneyland kind of places. So I'll repeat that last line. I mean, that one line. Eventually, you will see that the real cause of problems is not life itself. It's the commotion the mind makes about life that really causes problems. Before I continue, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I am so enjoying sharing this book with you. Please do leave your comments as you go on. I have asked some questions earlier. I truly am looking forward to reading your comments. So to continue, for those who've just joined, I'm reading The Voice Inside Your Head, Chapter 1 from this book called The Untethered Soul. So now that we've realized there is a voice of the mind, and it talks, it's verbalizing all the thoughts, there's a very serious question that raises. If so much of what the voice says is meaningless and unnecessary, then why does it even exist? सोचा होगा आपने भी? You must have also been waiting anxiously कि, maybe hopefully now the explanation is coming up as to why does it even exist. So exactly, it is understand why it says what it says when it says it. Let's look at that. Okay, we're going to understand why it says what it says and when it says it. The thing is, there's a buildup of energy inside that needs to be released. What do I mean by energy? Thoughts, emotions. It's all emotion. There's a very common way of describing emotion. I've heard this, and I think I find it quite fascinating. Emotion, which is energy in motion. Right? So it's an energy. Our thoughts are energy, our emotions are energy. So there's a build-up, whatever may have happened. Even joyous things, it's a build-up. Okay? And it needs to be released. So if you watch objectively, you will see that when there's a build-up of nervous, fearful, or desire-based energies inside, the voice becomes extremely active. This is easy to see when you're angry with someone and you feel like telling them off. Just watch how many times the inner voice tells them off before you even see them. Usi mein, I'm sorry, I hope you're okay, because sometimes I might just end up using Hindi a little bit. I'll try to curb it. When we're not able to physically tell off somebody that we're upset with, we just have that entire conversation in our head, and that itself just sometimes calms us down. Sometimes it riles us up even more. But either way, please understand, it is the energy that is finding way to be released, and that is one of the key things if you become aware why this voice exists and what makes it say what it does when it says what it does. Okay, so now, okay, we have a reason clear enough that this voice talks when there is energy buildup. But here, even when you're not particularly bothered by something, it still talks. Here's an example. He's written a really lovely example. When you're walking down the street, it says some things like, oh, look at that dog. It's a Labrador. Hey, there's another dog in that car. It's so cute. Look at the color. Oh, look at the hair. All those things. Hola, Deepika. Suresh, Rubina. Hi. So lovely, so lovely. Thank you for watching. I'm reading parts of a book called The Untethered Soul, and we're doing the first chapter, The Voice Inside Your Head. So it's the mind talking very quickly. So going back to what I was saying as the example, if you're walking down the street and you're, now there's no energy build-up. You're just looking at random things on the street. But that voice is still talking. Think about it. Again, I'm going to ask you to think about it. Now, if you go think about it, You might get drawn into what that voice says, and then you may not listen to what I'm reading from the book. Nevertheless, observe both. Okay? It is actually narrating the world for you. Whatever you're watching, it's narrating it to you. So then you may ask, why do you need this? You already see what's happening outside. How does it help to repeat it to yourself through the mental voice? Yeah? Very good question. Let's examine this very, very closely. So we're going to focus in and look at this. With a simple glance, you instantly take in the tremendous detail of whatever you're looking at. If you see a tree, you effortlessly see the branches, the leaves, and the flowering buds. Why then do you have to verbalize what you've already seen? Look at that tree. The green leaves are so beautiful against the white flowers. Oh, look how many flowers there are. Wow, it's so full. And so on and so forth. The narration makes you, please listen to this part very, very carefully. The narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. And this part I'd like you to really pay attention to. Why does this voice talk when there is nothing important happening? No emotions, no major emotions coming up, no major thoughts coming up. You just randomly looking at things. The narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. What does that mean? I'll tell you. Rather Michael will tell you. A tree is no longer just a tree in the world. It is a tree that you saw, labeled, and judged. Even though the judgment, even though you said positive and beautiful things about that tree, even that is a judgment, right? So a tree is no longer just a tree in the world. It is a tree that you saw, labeled, and judged. By verbalizing it mentally, you brought that initial direct experience of the world into the realm of your thoughts. There it becomes integrated with your other thoughts, such as those making up your value systems and historical experiences. Okay? Let's take a moment to examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. So do you understand the difference that Michael is trying to bring over here? What he's saying. Okay, I'm going to just repeat that bit once again for you. By verbalizing it mentally, you brought that initial direct experience of the world into the realm of your thoughts. There it becomes integrated with your other thoughts, such as those making up your value system and your historical experiences. Let's examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. When you're just thinking, you're free to create whatever thoughts you want, and these thoughts are expressed through the voice, right? Okay? This inner world is an alternate environment that is under your control, under my control, under our control. The inner world is an alternate environment that is under your control. The outside world, however, marches to its own laws. वो तो चलती रहती है जिंदगी, जो कहते हैं शायरी में कहा जाता है जिंदगी तो चली जा रही है, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? So when the voice narrates the outside world to you, those thoughts are now side by side with all your own thoughts. All these thoughts intermix and influence your experience of the world around you. Is that making sense? है ना? They influence your experience of the world around you. Experiencing a personal presentation of the world according to you. So if you're looking at a tree and somebody may say, oh, that's a very lovely shade of green. Somebody may find it yellow. Somebody who's colorblind may not even see a green or a yellow, might have some different color. So you get what I'm saying? वो लीफ तो लीफ है ना, वैसे ये जो भी कलर है उस पे, it is our personal representation of the world outside. Okay? This mental manipulation, here the word manipulation, please do not take it in the negative connotation. Okay? This mental manipulation of the outer experience allows you to buffer reality as it comes in. This was so profound for me. Okay? That's what the mind is doing. It's buffering the reality for me. Okay? I have given that job. That's okay. It's all right. But it was like a awe moment for me. Really. Oh, you're buffering the reality as it comes. Okay. So with this subtle form of pre-processing, you manage to control the experience of reality so that it all fits together inside your mind. Sometimes we say things like, oh, connecting the thoughts. Oh, that's a piece that's fitting into my jigsaw puzzle. All of that is in the mind. And the thoughts, the voice is helping you connect the thoughts or put the pieces together. So that's what it's doing for us. Your consciousness is actually experiencing your mental model of reality, not reality itself. If you can't get the world the way you like it, you internally verbalize it, judge it, complain about it, and then decide what to do about it. This makes you feel more empowered. This was very, very brilliant for me. If you can't get the world the way you like it, you internally verbalize it, judge it, complain about it, and then decide what to do about it. This makes you feel more empowered. When your body experiences, this was such a lovely, very, very lovely example that he's given here. When your body experiences cold, there may be nothing you can do to affect the temperature. Of course, right? I mean, I'm not talking about the cold, a cold room where you can control the air conditioning or fan. I'm talking about the cold outside. So you can't really control that. But when your mind verbalizes it, it's cold. You can say, you as in the mind also says, we're almost home, just a few more minutes. And then you feel better. In the thought world, there's always something you can do to control the experience. This is really, really important to know. What if you decided not to do this? If you decide not to narrate and instead just consciously observe the world, you will feel more open and exposed, vulnerable, maybe defenseless. This is because you really don't know what will happen next, and your mind is accustomed to helping you. It does this by processing your current experiences in a way that makes them fit with your views of the past and visions of the future. Reality is just too real for most of us, so we temper it with the mind. Think about it. I'm asking you to think about it. Do we really want reality? Do we really want to experience reality, experience life through a buffer, through a filter, tempered down? Or do you really want to look at it just the way it is? It's nothing great. I mean, it's nothing so frightful, nothing like that. So please listen to this. We're coming to the last bit of this chapter. Some beautiful things Michael has written here. You will come to see that the mind talks all the time because you gave it a job to do. You use it as a protection mechanism, a form of defense. Ultimately, it makes you feel more secure. As long as that's what you want, you will be forced to constantly use your mind to buffer yourself from life instead of living it. Now, a word caught my attention over here. As long as that's what you want, what is that? You using this mind as a protection mechanism. You will be forced to constantly use your mind. What does that mean? Forced to constantly use your mind, because you've given your mind complete control. Well, most of us have been doing that. We've been conditioned through childhood. We've been told this over and over again. Use your mind. What are you doing? You've got no brains. Brain alag hai, mind alag hai. But nevertheless, let's not go into that conversation. Brain is an organ, mind is an energy field. But nevertheless, can't you use your mind? Or what are you thinking? Aren't you thinking? Don't you know how to think? So we're forced to rely on that. And we don't even realize that there is something called, or there is an experience, there is a consciousness. That's who you are. Consciousness. So be aware now. How much control are we giving to our mind? Where your mind is being used to buffer yourself from life instead of living life. True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. This is done by constantly remembering that you are the one inside that notices the voice talking. It is a doorway to the depths of your being. To be aware that you are watching the voice talk is to stand on the threshold of a fantastic inner journey. I'm going to repeat this once again because I absolutely loved it. I've double underlined it. True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. Do you realize that? We'll come to that. He talks about all that also. This is done by constantly remembering that you are the one inside that notices the voice talking. It is a doorway to the depths of your being. To be aware that you are watching the voice talk is to stand on the threshold of a fantastic inner journey. If used properly, the same mental voice that has been a source of worry, distraction, and general neurosis can become the launching ground for true spiritual growth. Come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know one of the great mysteries of creation. So we complete chapter 1. How was that? In 2 days, we did chapter 1. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm loving doing this. I'm loving reading it, making my notes, notes in the book, and then having this video with you. You can get the book. You can read it on your own also, if you feel drawn to it, and then put your own thoughts as we read along. I'm going to really try my best to do this every single day. Show up for you. But in all honesty, I'm showing up for myself. With all the love and respect to each one of you who joined right now, who stayed with me, and to all of you who will be watching this recording. I love you all. Take care of yourself. Until tomorrow, day 3, where we start chapter 2. Let me tell you the name of chapter 2. It's very, very interesting, that one. It's called Your Inner Roommate. So I won't tell you more about it. Come join me tomorrow, same time, 10 p.m. India time, and we shall read some more. Until then, good night. Take care. Yes, Juhi. we all need to show up for ourselves. Good night.